computer. Okay, now it's recording. So when we are doing this for square cut, there are two methods to go through this one. One is like you're tilting the nib like this and then you're coming back to the original position, or put the nib and push it towards left like this, maintain that, and then go upward, and then go upward like this way. Sorry. Okay. So here the key is your strokes are like this. Okay, but we observe that when we are coming down with this one like this, and then we are coming down like this, you feel that your strokes are like this. So this happens every time when we're doing that. Okay,
So you're muted.
yeah. Okay, I have to attend the call. I don't know, it's a delivery guy or something. कभी भी phone करते वो लोग. So, very sorry about it. So when we are doing this, again there are a lot of confusions about like stroke. So I did this method like this and this to make it, and when I'm going down I stopped and I release the pressure of my finger when I'm doing it. But again, if you want to adjust this one, then you can adjust it like this, or maybe if you have a sharp nib like this one, EF principle, and again it's very easy to go and adjust that one. Look at this. Okay, so for the square cut, it's always a difficult task to manage. So you have to push with your this right finger towards left. I don't know who's, Surbi, please mute yourself. Okay, so it's like this, then go down and stop, and when you want to release your finger just like that. You don't have to just drag your knee to the left or somewhere, but you just release the finger pressure and you will get it. Like here also, look, I push with my finger to the left the time. If I put it, if I push it, look, okay, then I maintain that pressure. I stopped here, and when I want to release, I release it like this. But again, you don't have to drag it like this way. Okay, नहीं तो फिर वो ऐसा हो जाएगा, like pointed one. And many of us like doing a mistake like this, because in here you're putting a pressure in a middle and your tines are spreading equally like this and this. So what we have to do here is we have to put one tine and we have to push this tine to the left and steady the right one, and then go down, stop, and again you can go to the left like this to adjust that one. Got it? So this is the theory of your square cut. I think many of you are struggling with this. It's unable to catch in live workshop, but I can able to give you a very complete insight of this. Okay, if you're done with this, then let's go for underturn here. So for underturn, we are doing square cut first, we are going down and stop. Okay, and then we are going upward like this. For overturn, again the same thing happen. What we'll do is we are doing first step and then we are coming down. Okay, and we are square cutting it. Now I'll tell you what is these two elements and how they meet. So if I do one oval here, suppose, okay, and this is the part of underturn and this is the part of overturn. So if I cut this oval in half, I forget to take my paints. One sec. One second. Yeah. So when you cut this part, then you will get two separate, like an over and underturn and overturn. Okay. So it's like this and this. But if you observe, they are both have an oval sections or the incomplete oval. If you want to complete it, you can able to do that like this. 1 and 2. Now the thing started from this stroke as an oval. Every letter you take in copper plate small, it's always related to this two strokes. Remember this. And your oval. Okay, like if suppose I do a oval beside this one, I'll do oval here. Suppose first I start with 12 o'clock, stop, again I'm going upward like this. I'll make it bigger one for you. Okay, I'll make this big for you here, so you will get the thing correctly like this way. Okay, so if I cut it from like this half here, then you observe that this space and this space is equal as we take a shade inside it, like this boundary and this boundary and this. They are all similar. Means we are having a perfect half shape. Again, now what is the theory behind it? Like why shape is like this and why it's not going outside. Now again, which tine is moving here, that is more important. Like when you're going down, where you're dragging it, now look, my left tine is fixed and my right tine is working on this inside oval. And when I am going upward, means मैं जब भी यहाँ से यहाँ तक travel करता हूँ, like here to here, that time what happen is my left tine here is get fixed. It will not move. If it's move, then my oval will be like this. ये ऐसा हो जाएगा. If that move. So what happen here then? यहाँ तक तो मेरा दोनों टाइम यूज हो जाता है, like here, but from here point onward your right tine is moving inside. If you are not getting my point, I'll show you once again in a dry. Look, I'm starting here. Okay, now look at the tines. Now which one is fixed and which one is moving? You getting this? When I'm moving, now look, I'm moving with this, and then when I'm moving, my left tine is steady and my right tine is getting flexible, and then I'm going upward. It is like this. Why does the tine separate so often? What is the solution to it? Okay, it's not what we can say solution for it, but you have to exert a very less pressure when you're doing this. Now look, suppose I'm looking here, and then now look at the tines now. Which one you think is fixed and which one is moving here? Okay, as per my guess, I think that left tine is fixed when I am dragging this, and my right tine is getting, means like when I'm putting a pressure to make a shade, then my right tine is getting separated from the left one, or we can say that. But vice versa, when we doing this in this fashion, now look, they are all equal when I'm pressing it in the center. Okay, but when I'm making it in this, now look what happened. So both tines are getting equally spread, but left tine stays constant. And when I'm coming down, 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 reducing pressure, look, my both tines are getting attached again. So that is the theory of oval shapes. Okay. So if I'm correct, you can follow this method, or you can just keep in mind. So this is about your oval. But if we see this, the oval is like an bean, coffee bean kind of shape, like which have or equal halves. If I cut it, so it's like an equal half that we get. It's like an coffee bean. I think I have one bean here. I'll show you. Look at this. You're looking at this. Both the shapes are same. If we put it in here, you'll realize this is nothing but an oval kind of thing. Got it? So it's like a coffee bean. If you remember how coffee bean is, you can remember the shape of the oval. It is that easy for you to go. Okay, it's like this of a coffee bean, like an oval shape, but actually they are in a equal half when I put it in 55-degree like this. So that's the beauty of nature that you recognize. They have a equal symmetry over there. Okay, so this is about your underturn, overturn, and oval. We'll go for compound curve. I forget, I guess, the compound curve, the main thing that hurdles many of you. So in compound curve, we are going upward, we are going down, again we are going upward. Now what's the theory behind this? Okay, I'll explain. If suppose I take a two ovals, okay, from here to here, like this, again from here to here, like this. So that merging point, when I am starting from here and when I'm going down, stop, and then when I'm going upward, so this is the merging point of your compound stroke. You're getting this. If it's like this half circle, this, and then this, but actually we are not missing much. We are missing only, I think, 1/3 of the part of this one, I guess. Okay, so these are basically two oval combination, like two ovals are combined each other and they are giving you the oval. It's like a complete difference you can feel here while I'm teaching like this to you, because in workshop we are in a hurry to catch up the things, but in here we can take as long as we want to finish with the detailing. So that's why I started that one. Okay, sorry, just okay. Now let's go for, if you're done with this, let me know, then we'll go forward. Okay, Ananya, thank you. Thanks for thumbs up. What should be the width of a oval again? Okay, so it's depend on x height that you want. Okay, like suppose I take a x height of less than this one is a half. Okay, suppose I want to take a half thing. Now look at this. Okay, it's very minute. It's like it's a 3 mm, I guess, because as it's a 6 mm, it's a middle line. It's a 3 mm x height, 3 mm, and for 6 mm, definitely it will be doubled. So again, always it's depend on your length, sorry, on your x height. If suppose I want to go like in 12 bigger than this, then you have to maintain the shape of it, like you know how to maintain that shape. No, it's like this, stop, going upward. Now look at the difference between these three sizes then. But if you see, you'll see that no, these are in a perfect consistency. So how I get this consistency? It's because I keep in mind that whenever I do my oval, it should be in a range, or it should be like an oval, not like a circle. Like many of people misunderstand it like an circle. So this is wrong. No, this is not good to go, because here if I cut that circle also, you'll feel that there is no symmetry at all. But if I cut this one, then you'll get it like, ah, yeah, they are nicely equally halved, like a hot dog shape or something. So you're good to go with this. Okay, so that's the difference, like when you're doing. Okay, for consistent oval practice, the same thing, you have to just choose any x height and then you have keep go on. Like in a workbook also I have given this kind of methods, like for consistent practicing of oval, you can choose like making this, first connect, again go like this, connect, again go like this, connect, again go like this, connect. Okay, so you can always do this kind of a practice every day without any fail, then you will get a consistency of the oval, otherwise you will not get it. Oval shape in a stencils, Koteshwar, I don't think it's required to have. I don't think, because every time if you are depend on that oval kind of a thing, you never get oval in your life. I'll definitely tell you this. I don't know who is implemented that kind of thing, but you are definitely means like when you are doing it on commercial work, that time you cannot mess that paper, good quality paper, with like just lining a oval, just lining a thing. No, it's not possible. That is what I'm telling you. You have to learn it naturally, and for making those oval perfect for the capitals or for the small, it's the best way to practice this every day without any fail. Because if I do a C here like this and like this, so it's in the same thing. Like if you are improve your thing, like making the ovals, and every day you are doing it, you eventually you'll get it. Because I learned that way. I don't blindly rely on making ovals on a sheet and then I have to go with the each and every oval. No, that is not actual, that is not a thing. So I guess you should learn by naturally, not depend on the artificial ovals or like this. Okay, so that is the thing. And again, I have so many people are asking me like how I hold my holder. Okay, that is the one thing I want to give you. So when I'm holding it like this, I'm taking my gripping sections. Look here, I'm not picking the holder like this way. It's very wrong method. Again, when you're putting like a flange type of a holder like this, you can put your fingers like this, so that you can able to pressurize. When you're coming down, you can able to pressurize or making a shade with your finger pressure. Okay, not with like doing the things. Because I follow this method, I don't know what other calligraphers are following, but I definitely means like it helps me a lot to control my shades when I'm doing this. Like suppose if I want to make an ascender or descender, look at this one. So when I'm going down, I put a little pressure, but you never feel it like I use a finger over there. Look at this one. Okay, it's very steady. If I use a finger, then what happens? So it's like this. You'll end up having this kind of shape. That is a problem with every like a beginner who are struggling with like having a constant pressure. So for that, you can use your hand. And again, one thing, I'm surely, I guess you people understand that how I hold or how I place my holder on paper. So I'll just turn this like this way. I guess now it's clear for you. Okay, so look, I never do this kind of stuff. ये 90 पे नहीं होता या फिर पूरा lean भी नहीं होता. It's not like totally lean. Okay, I am putting it like this, a normal thing. Look, if you're making this, it's a normal thing. I'm not putting it like this, or I'm not putting like. And again, I never change the position of my knee when I'm going upward. अगर मेरा ऐसा ही है, means like I'm having this position, then I'm having the same position when I'm doing or writing thing. I never do this, or I never do this one. So remember this. Whatever position you choose, just choose the same one. Okay, but again, it will scratch your paper. Then you have to change the knee position. Remember this one. And my paper is always like this. Okay, for you guys, I'm taking it much like I'm moving the head of a camera so that you can able to see this. Okay, so that is, I think someone have raised the question. So we will take the question afterward or in the comments, please. We have a lot to catch. Sorry for that. So this is about your ovals. Okay, and then about ascenders like this one. There are two methods that I have told you earlier about this one. Like we have 2 methods to go on this, like anti-stroke, and then we are doing this, stop, going up, and then we are making a stroke over here. Okay, then we can do it like this, this, and then I know I have to connect it over here. So again, I come and connect like this. So it gives me the feel that I'm starting from here and then I'm continuing my stroke and then I'm coming down. Okay, if I do that, then what will happen? If suppose I make it continuous like this and then coming down, now look at the difference. I cannot able to get that loop consistent every time. Okay, so it's depend on your movements when you're doing this. So please follow the first method only. It's really helpful to get a consistent loop. End of the loop, and acha, means you're saying that, like if suppose I am going like this over this top, right? Okay, and when I'm coming down like this, and when again I'm coming down like this, you're saying this kind of stuff. Yeah, the same thing that we have done. Yeah. Yes. Okay, right. So you can follow this, no issues. If you don't want to, just close it up, because I guess that this portion here is already consumed by this shade. So you can either you can try up to this, means like below the line, small, and then you can make this one, and again you can go and make a stroke like this. Okay, but when we are going like this, we feel that the loops are getting closer to each other, so you can always go like this up to the header, and then you can go down like this way, and yes, you can complete it like this. There should be alignment. So every time you have to see this thing when you're doing that, like whether to align it or whether to align. Now here, look, both are different in a thing. So it's always trickiest thing to go with the ascender, but in with the descender, I guess it's not a problem like this way. Okay, this is the thing. Now how I maintain the size of my loop, that is the one question that I got yesterday. So I'll explain you that one. So when I'm going upward, okay, when I am doing this, and now there is an exit stroke, but it's in an oval. Okay, this is an oval shape when I'm exiting, and when I'm making a loop like this. Okay, now what's the limit of that upper loop? So it's depend on the shape below here. If it's a oval, then your ascender should not cross that oval. Okay, remember this. If you're doing like this way, it's wrong. Okay, if it stays within a limit of a one oval here, then the limit of this one is also a one oval, like longer one. Remember this. Okay, like this one. If you're doing like if you are doing edge or something, then also same thing is happen like this, and we are going up. Now my limit is this oval, first oval. Look at this one. Got it? So you have to limit your stroke up to the one oval. Whatever oval you have here, you have to limit your stroke up to that. Got it? So this is about your ascender. So please keep this in mind. Like how much negative space should I have or positive space should I have in inside? So it's a one oval only, but it should resemble with this stroke below. Got it? Okay. So this is what we have: a cinder, oval, and loops. So I'll make sure to just make a PDF of it and I'll send it to you. Okay. So I think I've done here. So we should move forward with the descending strokes now. So descending stroke, again, a same fundament I use. Like if I did this one, sorry, like this, and I'm going down, stop, going up, and then going upward. Now this is my J, suppose. Okay. So in here also, my limit is up to 1 oval. If I do G, suppose, now look. Okay. And now I'm doing this, going down, stop, going up, and then going down. Now look. Get this point? This is what is your limit of your ascenders and descenders of that loop. I don't know, many of you are asking this one. ये कितना होना चाहिए, कितना नहीं होना चाहिए, like that. Okay. Okay, so let's go for if again. Some of you will ask that कि sir ठीक है मैंने इसमें तो कर लिया, a normal thing. But what happens if I do a flourishing thing? Then is it matter that my loop should be like that? No? Okay. My volume is no. Shabitha Gupta. I think you should. Okay, my volume is low, guys. No, you can hear me clearly?
It's
No,
okay.
yeah. Yes,
Okay.
it's
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So if I do in a flourishing, suppose, then what rule I should remember then? If suppose I am doing this and like this, okay. When I'm going upward, I always remember to have my oval, okay, like this. And then I move my flourishing curves. But again question comes, like ठीक है sir मैंने ये कर लिया, but मेरे को अगर आगे ही करना है, means like without a loop I want to go like this. Now I want to go like this and this and this. Then what's the story behind it? No, again let me tell you. Got it? So whatever you're having, it should be in a shape of your oval. When you're doing this, means like everything is in oval. If it's flourishing, it's okay, you can make a bigger oval, but you should remember that it should be oval. It should not be any random stroke that you're doing. So please keep in mind when you're doing this flourishing kind of stuff. Everything is revolves around your oval. So things happen like this way. Okay, now we can go for the ascender, descender, and full pressure loop. I can square cut that we have like this, which we used for P, T, and D. Okay, so you can use this as a full pressure curve. So this is it. I think there is no explanation I would like to give you about this one, because we already have discussed about the square cut in the top and bottom side. But here the main thing is you have to just maintain the constant pressure when you're putting it on a nib, and gently you have to just release it so that you can get a square cut on the top and bottom side. On bottom side. Okay, so this is your, and again there is one more, that is a ligature. Okay, the connection between this first, second, so we called it as a ligature element. Okay, so this is a part of your connections of your letter, but again If you think this is different, then you should go and analyze it that when we are doing this one, so it's completely two ovals. Like first one is here, this, and second one is here, like this. Got it? So this is the analysis of your leakage that we have. Okay, so let's move toward the basic 6 group that we have according to your basic strokes that we get. So how we do that? So first one we have is entry stroke plus underturn. Okay, so how many letter we can able to do this? I, U, and W, right? And if suppose in second group, what we did is we are doing overturn plus compound curve. Okay, so here we can able to do things like N, M, okay, then X, again V and R. Okay, we can also do the X here, like this, R. Got it? Okay, so we'll go through first two groups first then. Okay, I'll go through one by one here. So in this one, I'll do it on, where is the excitement? Here. Okay, I'll do it in here. So I'll just mark this one. Okay. Okay, about the nib, I'll get back to you, Supriya, at the end of the session. Okay. So here we can do entry stroke. Okay, first. Okay, I'll just drag it here. Sorry. Entry stroke, then we do this, and again we are going upward. And we are putting a dot. So my guidelines are like this. So these are the limits of a dots or S and R, that kind of a dot you can put it here, because many of us are get confused about it, like thoda upar karna hai, niche karna hai, because this is first ascender and this is header, this is base, right? This is first D, this is second D, this is 2A. So this one are a kind of a helper to you when you're doing the stuff like this, like putting a dot or niche le jaake mujhe kahin connect karna hai, or I want to go with flourishing, but I want to limit my stroke, then you can limit like this and this. So this is all about that. So that's why I have made those references like that. Then if suppose I make it like this, now look, my stroke is up to here and then it's end. First one, again I'm going up, look, second, again I'm going up. So I comfortably, I manage my strokes or manage my connection about it. So this is your U. If I add a small element like here and then I'm go, then it will be like your W. Now what is the analysis of this one? So we have a one triangle here, a gap, and we have a one oval here. Okay. If I do this in a bigger thing like this, sorry. So if you observe, we have one triangle here, and then we have one complete oval here. Okay, now here we have a two ovals and two triangles, gap triangles, to analyze the gap, whether it's consistent or not. Okay, for that we are having it. And we have first oval, second oval, and third oval. It's like this: first, second, and third is here on the upper side. You're looking this, and in here we automatically generate the gap like this. Okay, so that's about first entry stroke and underturn. Then the next one what we have is overturn. First, if I add one compound, first, second, third, we'll end up with N. Again, if I add two overturn, first, second, and then third is a compound curve like this. So that becomes your M when you're doing that. And if I add one more element in a compound like this, and if I want to make X like this, you can make it like this one. Okay, we have a oval kind of a X also. Okay, and V is a pure compound stroke like this. And for R, same thing, we have to do overturn first like this, and then we are going up, stop, and making dot and exit. R, commonly we have 4 types. Okay, like we'll see it in an oval group next after this. Now what is the analysis of this one? So let me tell you this. So we have 2 ovals. First over here, second oval is here, third oval is in an exit. So but here we have one square like this. We can judge because we don't want to go for this one here, the spacing we have. Now here we have 2 triangles and 1 2 3 4 ovals, like first, second, third, fourth. So now until this time you observe everything is in a oval. Now here also we have 2 oval, here we have 3 ovals, 1 2 3, here we have again 2 ovals. Okay, so this is what I want you to understand, like how you are maintaining the gap about lettering and everything. So please remember, we have only one rule for consistent gap, that is nothing but your ovals. Okay, it is just oval space, one oval space, they always say one oval space. But in some of the commercial work you have seen that it may be a very compactness. It's like, if it depends on the situation, I'm not saying that that is wrong, but it's on a situation. Like if you have a very minute place to go and you want to just make it like this, like this one. Now where is the oval then? Okay, why I'm not making the oval here? Because I make it like this, so the shape will be like this, a pointed oval like this. It's like this and this. चावल का नहीं होता है, एक दाना होता है चावल का, मालूम है? It's like this. It's like a rice piece, like this way. But again, in some way, it will look or resembles to your shape, or it will give you the pointed oval shape. If you want to compress the script like this, because here we use 2 blocks to complete it, but here we can use only 1 block to complete it. Again, it also depend on your excite when you're using this, like a small oval or small excite or big excite. It's also depend on that, and how much space you have on your paper to go. For practice it's okay, but for commercial work it may be difficult, so you have to figure out the spacing also. Okay, I'll come back to that. So this is what we have here about this. Again, we have one oval here, so I think ink is not inside. So one oval is here, second oval is here. Okay, again this is pure compound stroke, so we have a 3 ovals. Second and third oval is on the upper side, like this position on this side. Here we have one oval and second oval here, and first oval is here. Okay, so now in the oval group, we are coming to the oval group now, because we finished with 2. So third group is our oval group. I'll just, if you finish this one, you can take a screenshot or something if you want to, no issues. Later on I'll send you the PDF also. So now in oval group, we have oval like an entry stroke plus oval then plus undertone. Okay, so with this one we can do many letters, C, E, then we have O, A, X, S, R. Okay, let's go through them all. So I'll make them here on this space. So I'm making this one like this way. Ah, it's like I'm complete a workshop, I feel like I'm first day. It's nice to catch everyone. Okay, so for C, we are doing this entry, then we're coming down, going up, and making this one. Again for E, same thing, first, second, and then we are coming down. Okay, so here we know that it's a half circle that we are using. Then for O, same thing, start from the 12 o'clock, again come back to 12 o'clock. Now where I should begin the connection? So that's why this line is here. Where should I begin the connection? We don't know whether below, whether upper, or whether at this point. No, it's here at this point, like this. Or maybe it's like an much more longer than that dot. It's like this, in a perfect way to go. Okay. Then for A, this, and then I attach one undertone. I'll make this A bigger to show you guys the analysis of it. Okay. First, and this to this. The spacing again between this oval and this oval should be equal, and we have 3 triangles altogether to judge the spacing here, and again one more is here. So when we are doing this, okay, you have to have equal spacing between them when you're doing that. Or if you in some point you feel that you have to crunch this section also when you require the space. Another space here. Again we have a third triangle here. It's like in this. This is a complete analysis of it. That we have one oval here like this, okay, and the second oval with your undertone like this. But if you see this gap and this gap is consumed with the shades. Okay, it's like some of them like this, and this is consumed with the shade, and because of that we needed to provide an equal section of a gap between them. So remember this one, when you're doing A or any letter, you should have a equal ovals when you're doing this. We will do that word minimum, then you'll understand what I'm telling you. Okay, that is your A. So now we can go for next one, that is X. So for X, we're starting from here, making an oval on this, and then we are making a C shape like this way. Okay, again I'll do it. One, again I'm doing it like this on the second. Okay, so this is a combination of 2 oval again, that we have one oval, second oval here. Then for S, again when we are going through this excite here, you can put a dot, coming down and stop here. Okay. Now the theory for this one is completely different as compared to any other letter. It's the most difficult letter to go on, right? So when I'm making the oval, look at this one. It's like this. Okay, it's in a 55-degree, but just a lean like this. Like suppose I'm making oval here, like this way. So what I'm using is I'm just using the half section of this one to get S. Okay, like this section only. Like suppose I am using only 1/4 part of my oval to describe that. So I've told you guys to how to get through the stroke of it. If you find it difficult, you should remember about the leaf shape. First dot, second, like you are completing a leaf. That way you can get this shape. Okay, that way you can able to get the shape of it. So the next one is, like, if you're done with S, let me know. We have a R. Now get to the versions of a R. We will go through one by one. Like this is your first one with oval. Okay, next one is very compact, like this. Third one is with proper underturn, like this. And the last one is with again overturn, like this. Get it? So we all together we have all 4 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4.
सर थर्ड वाला परत रीड्रॉ करू शकता का?
I will.
Need fourth also.
Sorry, I just catch water. My mouth is dry. Okay, so the third one is like this. Stop. Go here. Make underturn like this. I know the gap between this is too much as compared to any other. You can also reduce that gap by this. Okay. So there is no such a kind of rule that you cannot compress the letter. But when you compress the letter, remember this, you have to just make sure that your basic shape of that letter should be same. If suppose, for example, if I'm crunching S or maybe A, so look, if I have a very small excite, look at this. I compressed it. If I want to compress it in the same excite, but it should look like an A. It should not go and have like a very compactness. Okay, you should leave a proper gap between these two gaps so that your letter should identified in a way. Okay.
Sir, fourth one also.
Hey bhai, kar lena. This one, right? Okay. So this one is first, second. Okay. Now where to start this one is from here in the middle and then go upward like this, make a dot and then leave it like this one. Okay. Got it?
Yes.
So the size of the oval can be can vary on, depending upon the excite. You mean to say that, sir?
Yes, yes, definitely.
So there's no rule that the oval size needs to be 1 mm or 2 mm or 3 as
No,
such.
no. There is no such kind of thing because you cannot what you can say, you cannot measure each and every oval. Means like
Okay.
if I take a scale and if I want to measure it, it's not possible with this. Actually, if I want to measure this, हाँ ये इतना था, पर बाकी बाद में कितना होगा? We don't know. We can't predict. That's why
Yeah.
you have to
Exit.
depend on your excite when you're doing that. So it's the best way to follow the excite and the ratios of that. If suppose my height is bigger, okay, I'll tell you, we will do the R in a bigger height, suppose like this. But then also it resembles with the same one, right? But it shows that it's an enlarged view of this, not a different one. So that's how you should practice it. It's every day. So that's what, but there is one solution for this one. If you want to go with like a different oval, you can do this. Like make a small oval first, okay, and try to make a big oval like an same, like this. Again, make an again bigger oval like this. But if you see that your three ovals are getting with the same shape, then you will know. हाँ ठीक है, मैं थोड़ा बढ़ा भी सकता हूँ तो इतना ऐसा ही शेप रहेगा, अगर मैं कम भी करता हूँ तो वैसा ही शेप रहेगा. It's like that. So you have to go through that method to make an ovals and go through that. That's why I keep on insisting you again and again to make ovals every day without any what you can say laziness or something. But if you are taking tea or if you are just time passing or something, because we waste a lot of time on a phone to chatting and giving the message, so in between that time you can devote the 10 minutes at least to the ovals making. Okay, it will definitely help you in that. Okay, so this is about your oval group. Okay, so let's go for next one, ascenders and descenders. Okay, again we have in ascender and descender we use a lot of combination like empty stroke, oval, and then compound curves, many things. So in ascenders we are doing this, then this, then again this, and we are making a loop complete. This is your L basic, and then we can convert this into B like this way. If we take H like this, first, second, third, going up, making a stroke again here. So that is your H. How to convert this H into K? Now there is major confusion about this. Which one is correct? Let me know. Okay, now let me know which K is correct over here.
Second
First
one.
or second one? Second one, exactly. Anybody
Second.
else? Second, okay. 2 votes we get for this. First, second.
The second one only.
Second one.
Second one. Okay, got it. Thanks. I hope you remember. So this is not good. This is best to go. Okay, nice. I don't have to explain you the thing then. Okay, so this is the one that we got here. Then again, we have a curly bracket kind of a K also. Like we can use it like this. First I make a loop, then I make this, this, and this. Okay, that is your K, your loops. If we haven't get any letter covered, then let me know. I think we have L, B, H, K, F, exactly, F. Same thing, going up, and up to the first descender. Sorry. Up. Going upward. So this is your F. Again, the thing, it should be one oval. Doing that. So I don't think you should like this. You can use it. There is one more thing. I think many of you seen this kind of a F also. Is it practical to use it? I don't know, because I haven't used them. But in modern, many people use this.
It's kind of cursive, I think.
Kind of a cursive, yes, kind of a cursive. Kind of a cursive, yes. We're going through. But again, if you're doing this, remember, the loop should be like
That is modern practice, Avinash.
exactly. It's like a modern.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Means like, if you have by chance, if you want to do this, then you can do this, but in a proportion.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Like two ovals on the same axis.
yeah, exactly. So this is about your ascenders. Then we'll go for descenders now. Below. Okay. In descenders, we have very normal things to go like this. Reduce the pressure upward, and this. That is your J. If we add oval to that J, stop, and then we are going upward. And again, if you see, my loop is inside that oval here. Again, if you use compound stroke, and if I attach the loop, it goes like this. Again, the same thing. Again, we have equal distance in each and every loop here. Okay. Again, which letter is remaining here? It is Q. First stop, second stop, and then third. This is also under one loop when you're doing this. Any letter we miss in this? If anybody remember, let me know. If we miss any letter in this.
So letter Z.
Had, yeah, thank you. That is what I'm thinking. First, second stop, and then we are going up like this. Look at this one. Okay, same thing. They're always in a 55-degree, each and every element inside it. Okay. T, yeah, T comes to the end, Ananya, at the pressure stroke. Okay. Yes, we have done this. So in the last group that we have, that is full pressure group. Here we have full pressure group like this. So I'll do first P like this way. So I forget to do this. Again, we can do T. Start from here and then I go upward. And here is the line. That's why I do this dotted line to put the T cross. So it's here. Then for D, stop, go upward. So that is your T. So again, we have two ovals and one gap, like a one triangle here. Okay. So this is what all about is your small letters. Now, suppose if I write a word like minimum, okay, if you're done with this, let me know and then we'll go for that.
So just 2 more minutes.
Yeah, no problem. Take your time.
So for the letter D, the stroke should be thicker till the last bottom.
This one here.
For the letter small d, yeah. So
D.
the stroke should be thick till the last bottom, or it
Yeah,
should be gradually thin, then growing up.
I'll tell you one second.
This one, this one.
It's like this you can do and you can go up. Okay, that is this. This is also choice. But
So
when
it
I
is
want to,
gradually going little thin, na, first.
yeah,
At the bottom,
exactly.
because the same thing applies for letter A also.
Exactly. So when
Small
I
a
do,
ko matlab, it has to be little narrow at the bottom.
now look at this.
Yeah,
If
this.
you're talking about engrossers, then it's like this.
So slight
Yeah,
less.
बहुत छोटा है, बहुत ही छोटा है वो. Means like you're having very small gaps. Look at this.
No, it should be, the stroke should be thick, thick throughout.
हाँ, थोड़ा सा thick
फिर
होता है.
अचानक से पतला हो जाएगा, ऊपर जाएगा तो.
Exactly.
अच्छा.
यहाँ से पतला हो जाता है. Means like if I'm doing it in a bigger shape like this, suppose, okay, and I'm taking like this. अब मैंने यहाँ से शुरू कर दिया. Okay, now I have to gradually reduce like this.
We have to gradually reduce, ना, that only I always get mixed up.
हाँ, so
stroke पूरा नीचे तक thick
पूरा
आएगा,
नीचे
फिर
तक
अचानक
हम
से
लोग
thin
खींच लाते
जाएगा.
हैं. Exactly. तो ये फिंगर पे डिपेंड है. When you're doing it with finger movements, you cannot able to control that.
अच्छा.
Suppose I'm doing with finger movements. अगर समझो मैंने फिंगर से
Suppose,
किया.
हाँ.
Now look how I'm doing it. मैं fingers से करता हूँ अभी. Look now, every shade is going to be changed. Look, I cannot get this. ये मैंने finger movement से किया. Now if I do that stroke, particular stroke with the hand, like
Okay.
look at this. कुछ change दिख रहा है? This is with fingers. This is with the hand. Because here I am just applying a little pressure when I am going down, but in fingers I am doing this. मैं drag तो करता हूँ folder को, but ये भूल जाता हूँ कि when I am dragging, I am also putting a pressure on the tip of a nib when I am dragging the nib below. Like suppose I'll show you that one. If suppose I'm dragging this, okay, with finger and with hand, I'll show you how it is. If I'm doing this and I'm dragging, look, okay, ये मैंने drag करते हुए किया. अगर hand, look at the difference. मैंने ये hand movement में किया, but I have never applied any pressure. Here it naturally comes with the pressure when you're applying the pressure and you're dragging the knee both together. But if I want to drag and apply little with the hand movement, not with the finger. If I do this stroke with the finger, this will happen definitely. That is a major difference between two movements. Because in finger movement, you are applying additional pressure on your knee when you're dragging your knee down. That's why you end up with this bigger blotter shapes on your sheet.
So how do we know if our nib is worn out, sir?
I'll get back to that definitely, because now we are in the middle of this. So I'll definitely give you that insight. I'll show you how nib get worn out. It depends on your use also, it's like how you use them. Okay.
Sir, letters, do you rest your elbow on the table?
I'll show you one sec. When I'm doing this, I'll show you how I write it. So you will get an insight of that. I know many of you are having that question. हाँ सर तो करते होंगे ना प्रेस. So look, this is how I am doing it. I don't know. Okay, I'm able to see this. Okay.
Yes, yes,
So
yeah, yes, able
now
to
I'll
see,
do
yes.
one. Okay, I'll do it in this side. Suppose. So it is get finished. Now I use finger from this to this to make the curve. Again I'll make a hand. I rest it, but I never fixed it. Okay, I rest that thing, but I never fixed it. So whenever I want to get flourishing term or anything, I lift the elbow little bit and I'm depend on my fingers like this, and then I'm making the things. Okay, so if you see now what I did is this. These are the movements that I did. But honestly, from this point to this point, I use a finger because हम जब गाड़ी चलाते हैं तो पूरी 60 की स्पीड में नहीं ले जाते हैं टर्न पे. You have to reduce the speed eventually. So what is meant by that reducing the speed? I reduce means like I reduce my movement and help. I get a help with my finger to make this curve smooth, and then I'm going again track. Okay, got it? Like confused, like हाँ hand भी कुछ बोलते हैं कि hand करना चाहिए, कुछ लोग बोलते हैं कि finger करना चाहिए. So what should be? You can always use the combination of both, but it's on a particular area when you're doing flourishing, like this curve here, like this curve here, this curve here, and this. And when you're dragging, it's an free hand like this. Like if I do, I use finger little bit and then I make a hand, again use a finger, then I make a hand up to this, again use a finger, hand and hand movement. Got it? So I think now you can understand about it, like how we are doing it.
There's a lot of confusion when it comes to engrossers and copper plate. What exactly, how will you differentiate both the scripts?
Okay,
Some people say copper plate is not a script. Some people say
not a
it
script,
is a
then
script.
why?
I don't know.
Okay, then you should go to IAMPET or maybe on a YouTube, and if you find Joe Whitlow's archival section video on this, then you'll surprise with that copper plate is the most dominating script ever in any kind of a calligraphy script in those
Okay.
timelines. And
Okay.
I'll
Could
definitely
you
tell you this. You can also
please
talk with
repeat?
Joe Whitlow about it, like whether it's true or not. You can go and
So like
ask.
we are learning engrossers, no, right now?
No. We are learning copper plate.
We are doing copper plate, no, sir.
Exactly.
Okay.
I don't know who is there who is confused about it. Okay, I'll tell you basic difference. It's a very minute.
Okay.
You cannot catch it, but I'll tell you. I get this thing from David about this. David Masgrim, you know, if know him, he's a
Okay.
Premium too. So when I'm doing this movement of a sharp V shape, it's an engrosser. Okay.
Okay.
And
Okay.
if I make this shape of a U that we oftenly did here somewhere, so this is your copper plate.
Okay.
That is a major
Okay.
difference between it. If ascender also, if we are doing like this, okay, and we are doing like this, suppose like a pointed thing over here, and then or little pointed, not much, that is in engrosser. Again in engrosser, when you go down, your shades are getting again in the hairline, like suppose
Okay.
if I am going like this, and then they are lifting it like an V shape. But in copper plate, what we do is we are do drag until it, and we are making it like an oval. Getting it?
Somebody told me that copper plate is all about continuous movements and engrossers is all about breaking down each and every stroke. So
Yeah.
that's what I
Yeah,
got to learn.
that is also true. I'm not saying that this is wrong, but yes.
Uh-huh.
But when you have like a master in it, then and then only you can do this kind of a continuous thing. Like suppose if I want to make word minimum. Now look at this. Okay, and if
Yeah.
I go with the same oval, same thing, but breaking it. Okay, if we do this thing by breaking. Okay, now I make it very slow so that you guys can get it. Now look at the difference between this M and this M.
Okay.
If you're making it very continuously, then it's okay, but you have to be very sure that your shape should be in an oval intact with that. But as compared to that, if you slow down in this, you'll get a perfect shape of your letter.
Okay.
Got it?
So they are from the same family, I feel.
Yes,
matlab,
yes.
brother,
Yes,
sister,
you can
something
say
like
that.
that.
Yeah, you can
Yeah?
say that. You can say that. Because engrosser and copperplate are very resemble to each other. Very, very resemble. You cannot miss like if you find this podcast by Ajab and Christine
Yeah.
on with Joe Vitello about this, so he explained it very beautifully, like why engrosser they name a why they name a copperplate as an engrosser in USA, how it comes or how they develop this kind of thing, and why they are not taking a name as a copper plate. So
Oh.
you can go, yeah, that is actually that is true. So you can just go to Joe Whitlow's podcast on Spotify or maybe on
Yeah, I actually
iTunes,
heard it halfway last time, so I could
and
not
you
complete
should
it. Yeah.
listen to it fully because
Okay,
it's
okay.
very informative. Your all
Okay.
doubts will be clear because it's hard for me to explain you that thing. So
Okay.
maybe he is the one who expert in this kind of all kind of script. I think he is also write a one book on a copper plate, I guess, which is
Yeah, yeah.
more of an resemble like engrosser.
Okay. Thank you
So,
so much, sir.
so there are many confusion. I understand because there are many scripts around, and you want to follow something which is intact or something which is fruitful. But
Yeah.
let me know you that the copper plate is the most dominating script ever in a history.
Okay.
Most
Okay.
dominating because I'm reading one book called Western or European and Western calligraphy history. So I come to know that this script is more of a commercial script which is mainly used in 16th century to till date. Till date,
Okay.
I mean till date.
Oh.
So that's why it fascinates the people, like how you get a thin and thick curve with a one just metal piece and with the
Yes.
लाइट के बिना दिख रहा है देखो
that is the
लाइट ऑन कर ऑलरेडी आंखें देख
please mute yourself. Okay, yeah. So this is it, I guess. You guys find this one useful. So now let's take a questions. If anybody have any question, just ask me, no issues. I'll go through clear them. If you have any questions, just rightful to it.
Yeah. Avinash, I was talking about word spacing and sentence spacing. So
Okay.
how would you do that?
Okay, no issues. We will go through that. Okay, when you are attaching, the spacing should be one oval for each letter. Like suppose now I want to add I. So I have to keep remember that when I'm exiting with the stroke, I need to have one oval. Again, when I'm entering new letter, again I'm exiting, I should have a one letter, right? Then again ligature, then again N. Look, again I, again like this. So if you see, we have equal gap. It may get reduced when initial script. I'll show you something, one second. You'll get it. I have this thing. I think I have earlier also showed you guys about this one. Sorry. Okay. So I'll just remove this and I'll show you this one. Now look here. What happened if I'll just make it. Okay. Now look here. This is a very compact script. Okay.
Sir, please mute everyone. Somebody is unmuted and we are not able to hear you at all.
Mute.
Yes, sir. सगळ्यांना एकदा फक्त
Yeah, I mute everyone. Okay. Guys, please don't unmute yourself. I think others are getting troubled with my voice. Okay. So here, now look, if you're going through each and every detailing here, now if you see the space here, and the space here, it's like an one compact oval. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. You're looking at this. So if you're looking now, what is distance between these two? Again, it's a one oval. When you're doing that, again, distance between this and this. If I draw one letter, you'll realize it's a one oval. So remember this, never forget this kind of thing. When you're doing it, you should go with like having a one oval distance in each letter and between two words. So what I'm showing you is the composition. I think it's called a share certificate or bond certificate. So I'll show you many detailing inside it, like how, but let me clear you this. This is not copper plate, but it's an engrosser. But many of a letter from copper plate is inspired in engrosser or maybe vice versa. We cannot tell because I think we always have to depend on Joe Whitlow's study about it, because he is the one who give a very sure thing like which one is which and which one is which. So I blindly follow him about this one. I never debate on the questions like that. कि ये ऐसा ही क्यों है या फिर ये engrosser में ये copper plate में क्यों है. So it's like too much of a confusion about it. So if you want the answer of this question, you definitely should go and listen to that podcast. He explained it very well. So you should not get any doubt about it. So this one is engraved on a one plate and then they print it out on one page over here. So if you see the spacing and everything, you'll get this. And the one question I get is from how much distance should be there in this and this gap. It's like this line and this line. Okay, foreign commercial work. So I'll tell you what I did with my last job. I'll just show you that. I take a 5 mm as my X height and it's here. I'll show you that. Now look. So what I did is I lined everything first. Okay. And with the tensils only, I get the gap. I manage those gap between it. So the distance between this and this is 5 mm X height I have here. Then I took around 1 to 1.5 centimeter of distance between these two. Why? I'll tell you. If I have a Y and if I again have any loop here, and I don't want them to collecting with each other or maybe getting interacted with each other like this way. Look here. So that's why what I did every time when I want to make any commercial work, I first take a rough paper or any rough paper and do that thing with the pencil first, or on that commercial page also you can do it with the pencil, no issues, and later on you can just rub it off if you want. So this is how I take my X height. So how to take this one in a stencil? I think many of you are having that one, but I'll just tell you how to monetize, not monetize, you can say clarify that one. Yeah, if suppose I have 5 mm or 6 mm of this, now look. So choose first 5 mm, this one. Okay. Then you know that if you have 5 mm, this is also 5 mm, this is 1 centimeter. Again, this is also 1 centimeter. Then what I have to do is, means like 5, 1 centimeter, then you can make like this. Look at this, you can mark on it. Like suppose if I take this one first, you have to leave 2 lines and you can go it on a second. Again, first, again 2 line, 3, again leave 2 line, 4. So you can mark like this and you can easily draw the lines very fast without like considering कि ये गलत हो गया या वो गलत हो गया. So you can mark it. Like कौन सी line में मुझे कितना gap छोड़ना. If you want to use 1:1:1, then also it's fine. You can use all the 1:1:1 lines also. Because in some places they use 1:1:1 gap, like in ratio. But in here, if you see, I'll just make it zoom. Yeah, like look here, all the things are in a one place or in 1:1:1 ratio, like this, because always our capital is 2x, means like it should start from here, but now in this it start from just a one line above. Okay, so this ratio is called 1:1:1, where your loops are getting very small as compared to your normal writing or normal excite. Got it? So this is what is about 1:1:1 ratio.
Sir, when we join M and Y, it looks very wide. Means when I join actually.
Exactly. Which
So
one?
it's fine.
Which one?
M and Y. When we join M, letter M and Y, it looks very wide. Means the
Yeah,
space.
yeah. The gap between that one is too wide as
Yes.
compared to that one. I know, because it's a ligature thing. So what you can do about it, we can do is this thing, M and Y. Sorry. And when you are going this, right? So you can do it like this. You can make a solution like this, like going, and you can start with that.
Okay, this is fine. Then.
Yeah. You can start like this. Okay. So this is.
A doubt, sir.
Mhm.
So, like in the acrylic sheets that you gave us during the workshops, they start from 5 mm. But do you have anything smaller than that for the letter writings and stuff like that? Like when you really want to write small letters or small, alphabets.
It's like what excite you really require then?
Sorry?
What excite you really want to write on then?
Like a smaller one, like smaller than 5 mm.
Smaller than 5 mm, then you have to describe me whatever centimeter you want, or whatever excite you want.
Okay, I'm not sure about that, sir. But I'm
Exactly, that is a question, Nisha. Exactly, that is a confusion.
Okay.
Because if you don't know, like
Okay.
how small you want to write, then how you can decide what excite you should have to choose.
Okay.
Let me clear you that.
Explain, yeah.
One thing is, look, when you want to write small, like in 3 mm, if suppose I make it half of this is 6 mm excite, okay, like this one here, and I'll make it the half of this. So I always have to think about the shapes first, right? So you can maximum in this script, you can go up to 3 mm, not less than that.
Okay.
You can also write in 4 mm, you can also write in like 5 mm, you can also write in 3 mm, but less than this, not possible. With this kind of nib, it's not possible. You'll require a separate very vintage nib for this, because it's available. Vintage nibs are there, which is like a very small writing. Like suppose I want to, I'll try it for you. But in this excite, you cannot give a justice to your every letter, like in shade and everything, because whenever you want to put the shade, you will feel that nahi, ye bahut bada ho raha hai. So that is a difference. Like why I insist everyone to go for 5, 6, 7 or 8 mm for practicing or for commercial work. It is because of this. There is no use of writing very small.
Right.
So with the oval drills, do you rest your elbow also on the table, or is it like the elbow is also in the air when you are practicing the ovals?
Ovals.
The wrist.
I'll show you one sec. I think we are we are getting back to basic. I feel awkward when I'm doing this. Look, my elbow is not resting or it's barely touching to this one. When I'm doing this, look,
Okay. But the
but if I rest,
table, but the elbow is on the table. The
elbow means
yeah.
this one you are talking. Yeah.
Yes, yes, sir.
This
Yes,
one
sir.
is on a table. I'm not making like this. No, it's not possible
Okay, okay,
to
okay.
make it. Then for this position, you have to stand up for making oval. Okay.
Thank you.
Otherwise,
Thank
and palm also is not touching to my paper like this. If I
Right.
touch the palm, then I'll be like restricted like this, finger movements. I'm not moving my hand. If I
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Sir, when you're writing in 3 mm height, what nib should you be using? Because it's very small.
Ink or nib?
Nib, sorry, nib.
Principal EF. I use principal EF to write on 3 mm also. This is my 3 mm.
Okay, sir.
And I use a principal EF only because I feel that nib is good, but Hunt 101 is also better than principal. If you can, if you ask me about it,
okay,
that also is good nib. So,
and why do these nibs they scratch when you're writing on some other paper instead of these normal 100 GSM?
Because they are having textures and nib tines are made for cutting the paper fibers.
Okay.
That's why they scratch. That's why they get sound. It's a melody for me. Okay.
But then it gets stuck at times, sir. When you're writing, it gets stuck when you're going up.
No, not at all. Not at all. If you are using a handmade paper of a like very big texture, not smooth one, like
okay,
if you're using a texture paper like handmade or anything, then you should use a Nikkoji nib for that. That is best.
Okay.
With those kind of a texture paper.
So we cannot write with principal EF on textured paper.
No, not at all possible because the tines of that nib is very delicate.
Okay.
They are EF, extra flexible.
All right.
So for principal EF, do we need some special oblique holder? Because I have the nib, but somehow it doesn't, I mean, it just keeps on, slipping into the flange and, I mean, I'm not able to write.
Which holder you have? Which holder you have? Can you tell me?
I have one from your workshop and I have this one. This you are not, I mean, big fan of this. I have which has a flange, and otherwise I have these speedball, the plastic ones.
Speedball plastic one. So your nib is not fixing in my holder or what?
No, I tried it, but it keeps on slipping.
Okay, for that one you need to adjust the flange, dear. You have to adjust the flange. Now how to adjust that one? So for that you require this. Guys, please mute yourself if you are participated in that. If somebody is asking question, then it's okay. I'll unmute that.
Sir?
One sec. I'm about to finish. One sec, Harshita. So you should give a justice to other when someone asks question. Okay. So here you can use the piler when you're making any adjustment. It's called nose piler. You can get this nose piler on Amazon or in any hardware shop or something. Just tell them we need a nose piler. It used for making jewelries. Okay. So how I adjust that one is, okay, if I have this kind of thing and I want to remove, okay, like this way, and again then also my nib is not fixing in, then you have to just press it, okay, like press it, or you can just turn it again back so that you can make that diameter over here to adjust your nib. Okay, again if you feel that your nib is too much scratchy like this one, so you can adjust this holder like this flange little upward. Like if suppose this is on this, so you can little upward, like I'll show you mine. So look at this. You seen this, my flange is little upward than as compared to this one. Why? It's because I adjust my nib according to that. And in collar nib, if you have this kind of a flange in a collar type, then you can easily, without a piler, you can easily adjust your nib with this. You don't need a piler in this, but for some of a nib use, you need a piler to like grab here to fix, to make adjustment. Okay, because we have many nibs which are smaller, which are bigger. So that's why means everyone should have a piler if you are using flange holders. It's very useful to tool for that. Okay, Harshita, go. You can ask me question.
So, principal PF nib, EF nib is not available everywhere. Can you make it available?
Genuinely speaking, yes. I talked to Manuscript about this, and now because of the pandemic, they have stopped every shipment they are sending to India. Okay, and I've talked to them. I think maybe next month we will have the solution on this, and I'll restock the nibs in my shop. So I'll do it. And now in I think 8 days, we are getting Hunt 101, which is really resemble to this. So I have ordered them from Speedball for 100 for myself and 100 for the shop. So I use many, means like I mostly use the Hunt 101 and Principal EF. So I think we are restocking that in a few weeks. So let's see what happens, because we have just restocked the Nikoji also, because I don't know, so many people want to buy that one. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, most of the inks, they bleed on handmade paper. So what ink should we be using on those papers?
It depends on it depends on the paper quality. If you have a hot press paper, then it will not bleed. If you have a cold press paper with a very so much of a texture, and water paper is meant for soaking inks or bleeding them, that's why it's called a watercolor paper, because watercolor property is like spreading, right? So you should not use watercolor paper for your commercial work. Let me tell you that.
Okay. So watercolor and cold press should not be used.
No, it should not. You can use a hot press instead of that. Hot press watercolor paper is good, not a cold press.
Okay.
Cold press is too textury.
Okay.
Compared to that one. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I guess we have done. Okay. I think lately many of you are asking me that what kind of colors I'm using, that pastel things or pastel shades. So it's this one. It's like I could not answer to all of you, so maybe I think this is a good chance to explain you this one. I need only one. Yeah, I have this. Okay, so I'm using these colors. This is made by Teja. She is here only. She'll talk to you if you want to say hi.
Yeah, but sir, when we use these shades, no, so we apply with the brush, no, so while we hold the brush, sometimes the color tends to drop here and there because it's little watery when we apply on the nib.
Okay, then you can make a liquid out of it if you need it.
So we can make a liquid also, because sometimes because it needs to be thin, no, because we need to dilute it a bit.
Exactly.
So when we hold the brush with the left hand, na, तो सारा ध्यान वही होता है कि
वही
left
होता है
hand
और
से
वो
वो
गिर
गिर
जाता
तो नहीं
है.
रहा हो, गिर तो नहीं रहा हो.
So that's why I make this kind of a ink. So that's
Can
why
you
I
tell the
make
measurements for this, sir? For your one pan, can you tell the measurements?
Measurements is up to 50 to 20 ml you can make, like this one, this bottle. Look here.
Small bottle, so cute.
Yeah, I made so many inks out of it. I think
For one pan, it's 50 ml, is it?
I think Teja is here. She'll give answer to everything, because I think
We can
all of you
dilute
know.
and keep them. And so, do we have to pour them in the cake again?
Shatam, I think Teja is here. She will answer all the questions. Sorry, she is here, so she'll answer everything about it. So
and one last question: when we join B or H, the ascenders, so from where we join, sometimes that joint is visible. Sometimes.
One second, ma'am. If you don't mind, one by one we will continue it.
Okay.
And first of all, I will be clear about colors. Just mix warm water with this. Okay, now this is currently thick, suppose. Okay, then you will add warm water and just mix it, just like it will look like this.
Okay.
See, that effect you will get after mixing. Okay. And whenever you want to deep your nib, that time you should deep it. And after then, don't take full full big size drop. No, not at all. Absolutely that. Just rub cross like here, and then start to write. No issues.
Okay.
Don't take too much watery color effect. I mean,
Yeah, how much is the ratio? Do we have to crush the paint and put, or how do we put it in the jar?
I'll show you
see,
one
he's
thing.
doing now. So that hairline also you can get it.
I'll show you.
He's not taking too much liquid
Look,
form.
I'm putting this much. Yeah.
And with metallic it is more simple.
So does it need to be lukewarm water, Teja, or we can add normal distilled water, tap water?
Just normal water also.
Just normal water. I mean 25 ml normal water is enough for one jar, one coin.
One sec, I'll make you guys for this. Okay, I have just taken this out from this kind of thing. Just put it inside like this way.
Just casual crush it is, just
Casual
like in
crush.
cooking top.
And you just add a water. Like you can also get in consistency, like I'm adding it. Look, up to this I add like little bit, like this much. Okay, not full. Okay.
Okay.
And then what you have to do is you have to just mix it very well
Just give a little bit time for that.
to dissolve the
exactly.
crystals.
Huh.
Yeah. And you'll see they are
Now he's
just
mixing
dissolving.
slowly, and if you will
And for the
add warm
metallic
water,
colors also same. For
Yeah,
the
yeah.
pearl colors, same
Yes,
method.
yes, ma'am. Same.
you
Same
will
method.
get more shimmer with liquid form.
Look,
Okay, yeah, that we get more shimmer, yeah.
exactly. So here also you
We have
can.
to pour it again in the cake after using it.
No, I don't think so.
Or keep it in the bottle only.
Yeah, keep it in a bottle only. Don't pour it.
And
This is-
redilute
This
it,
is
suppose.
metallic.
This is metal. One second.
He will mix it, and he will show
Because
the shimmer.
many people are having confusions about it. So this is your pista color.
See the shimmer.
Yeah. Acha, the entire cake also we can just transfer in a
yes,
small
you
bottle.
can dissolve inside. Right?
Exactly.
Actually, मतलब वही होता है ना कि कुछ ज्यादा लिखना होता है तो every time brush से लगाना है so much of pain ना क्या हाँ
That's
brush से
why
लगाओ.
when I think I've taken this suggestion from you only when you talked over the phone with Teja, like this thing has happened and I couldn't concentrate on writing. So that's why we come up with the formula with these colors, like you can also make a liquid out of it.
Liquid out.
Here you can see that.
Now it's
Slowly it is
completely
making
dissolved.
enough thick. How much?
Okay, right.
Are you shipping to Chennai, Avinash, sir?
Yeah, but I think after 7 days, because we have a lockdown now.
But your place is it okay?
Yes, it's like patients are increasing, and it's really a worry. Like
Yeah, really.
Should we order now or should we order later after 7 days?
you can place an order now. We will make it packed and ready to ship. As soon as this bound is over, I'll ship them.
Yeah, right.
Definitely. So it's like better because we have less color on this one. I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Sir, if we use this color after a week, do we have to add more water or is it going to be liquid?
No. Don't add too much of a water to it, because what happen is if you add too much water, it will make a very what you can say liquid
Translucent type, huh?
Translucent type.
Transparent.
Now also it's not ready, but I am just showing you with that how it's coming out of it.
Liquid even after a week, 10 days also?
Yeah, no problem. If you think that it's getting like dry, then you can definitely add some water to it. Now it's liquidy. I have to crush it completely with like something like this. So if the crystals, one means like this one is ready to use because I have done this many times. Like look at the opaqueness of this one.
Yeah, this is very opaque. Yeah, very
Exactly.
opaque.
Very opaque. So I have done this one.
Beautiful yellow, sir.
Yes, it's really nice to have the colors.
Okay. So means like the entire cake we can dilute in a small bottle and keep.
Exactly.
It won't मतलब spoil ना, खराब नहीं होगा ना वो
नहीं
like.
होगा. It will not.
चलो good.
It will not. So I'll show you that.
Okay, if I have not used the cakes for a period of time, Avinash, I
And
hope
they
the
get coated.
shelf life will be there.
Yes,
Because there are
yes,
few
they have.
colors I have not at all accessed it from a
Exactly.
long time.
So for that
So-
only, I come up with the solution. Like if you want to just make it, so keep it tightly in a container, or don't open it, because of the moisture only they get struck like a rock.
Okay, okay.
But if you make them liquid, it's a good option, because this is like a month before I made this one. And
Okay.
I haven't had any water or inside anything.
No. I'm specifically talking about the individual cakes that you ship, because you're
Yes.
not shipping it with bottles, no? So I should immediately transfer them into the bottles for a longer shelf life.
I think
That's
we
what
will.
you said?
I think we will come up with the thing that we will crush all
We
the
need those
beans
bottles.
and with the bottles. Yeah, we can ship with the bottles. Teja is planning that thing, like giving, because she is the one who make inks, all the things, and run the shop. It's not me whom you're talking over the website or something. It's Teja. She is answering
Yeah.
your all things.
Oh, wow. Right.
Yeah, she's the one who answers your call and everything, because
Okay, okay.
she's mind behind it. Now look, this is the opaqueness that we
Yeah,
have.
this is very opaque. Yeah.
This is very opaque as compared to any other need. I have this done on copper plate and engrossers also. One sec. Look here.
Right. And sir, some people are mixing iridescent some medium, so it is
Iridescent,
for
yeah.
that metallic.
Yes, iridescent is like kind of a powder only, which settles down, but it's
No,
very
it's not a powder. In nowadays, it's coming like a
liquid.
कैसे बोलूं जैसे ना liquid type हाँ मतलब semi जैसे कुछ semi solid like
Semi-liquid
ऐसे.
होता है. Yes, I have that one too. It's a
Semi solid.
semi-solid
So
or
that
liquid.
gives a sheen to the writing.
Okay.
So how much of that should be mixed, and can we mix that to walnut ink also?
I don't think so. It will work with that, but it's a nice idea to add this one. Now this for watercolor that Teja did with the same colors.
Very beautiful. Very
Yes.
beautiful.
It's like you'll get many shades.
Okay, I'll try this in watercolor also because I also paint flowers. Okay, I'll try.
Yeah, no problem. Try.
Yeah, I'll try.
That
yeah.
fluorescent effect, you can get it very easily. Actually, here actually there is no specific view. Whatever I am feeling here, I will
Okay,
send you
yeah.
some photographs.
No, but we can understand.
You can understand that effect.
Yeah, right.
And otherwise, I'm also habitual with metallic testing, and after a long time, I got that exact effect with fluorescent jobs. See, on black
Right.
also you can actually here Avinash rub something, but this is the point.
Right.